Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 20th of March 2025 and yesterday guys, that is the 19th of March, Federal Chair Jerome Powell decided to go ahead and keep the interest rate the same, and this, to be honest guys, is definitely good for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, rather than watching mainstream media, go ahead and look at information from first source, and the Federal Reserve Board website does give accurate information. And along with that guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually go live via YouTube, and what he did give his reasoning as to why he has gone ahead and made the decision. Now more importantly guys, after he went ahead and made the announcement, there was a lot of question and answer session, and some questions were regarding tariffs. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what the announcement is and what kind of an impact does it have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And then guys, I'll go ahead and discuss what is it that Federal Chair Jerome Powell said regarding tariffs. And he also talked about a really interesting survey which does actually state that inflation may be linked to tariffs, but nonetheless guys, it is so important that you go ahead and look at information from first source. And in the show notes below, you'll see the official channel of the Federal Reserve Board via YouTube. Now because of that guys, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have definitely pumped up. And what happens is, whenever such announcements are taking place, usually 3 to 4 hours after the announcement, mainstream media goes ahead and puts out this narrative. And because of that, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have definitely pumped up. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the weekend. But I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on some of these points in today's episode. Now in the world of Bitcoin guys, a lot of them are building things on Bitcoin network, and Zappo Bank guys, they are trying to issue USD loans based on the Bitcoin holdings that you have. So I'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. But look guys, it's so important to understand that whenever these loans are issued, there's always a massive risk of you losing your Bitcoin. But this is a decision that you individually have to make. But nonetheless guys, I'll definitely go ahead and share what this news is all about. Now the next news guys is probably the most important news in 2025. And this is to do with rebranding of a project called EOS. Now look guys, so far as EOS is concerned, in 2017 they raised $4 billion and the project was a complete failure guys. But now looks like they're going to be rebranding it to Vaulta, and they are taking a completely different approach with this rebranding guys. They are focusing on Web3 banking, and if you actually look at the tagline guys, it does actually state Vaulta is opening the gateway for Web3 banking. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what Vaulta is all about, and they also have 4 pillars guys. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on what clients that they are aiming for. But me personally guys, I'm definitely not convinced with what I'm seeing, because they already have a council members and quite a lot of other things. But I'll go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. Now we do have some really interesting announcement by Microsoft guys, and Microsoft is actually warning the users regarding malware. And what is really important to note guys is, this particular malware will be targeting Coinbase as well as MetaMask wallet and quite a lot of other things. And this, to be honest, is a massive red flag, isn't it? So I'd really urge you guys to go ahead and take extra precaution. Now the final news guys is regarding Democratic lawmakers' stance regarding cryptocurrencies, and it's needless to say that they're heavily suffering from TDS, that is Trump derangement syndrome, isn't it? And they want to fight back against every crypto policies done by President Donald Trump. So definitely unfortunate news, but it's really important to understand guys, millions of people are definitely disagreeing with them. So we'll definitely go ahead and discuss what this news is all about. So we have quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is probably the most important news in the world of artificial intelligence, and there is a global AI infrastructure partnership. But check out the names who are involved in this guys. This, to be honest, is an absolutely gigantic news, and companies like BlackRock, Microsoft, MGX, Nvidia, XAI, Twitter or X, General Electric, Vernova, as well as Next Extra Energy is involved in this. And this news is connected to Abu Dhabi guys. And as we're speaking right now guys, His Highness Sheikh Tanoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who's the deputy ruler of Abu Dhabi and national security advisor guys, is actually meeting with President Donald Trump. And if I'm not mistaken guys, he's also the most important person so far as MGX is concerned. And in the episode that I released few days ago guys, we talked about MGX investing $2 billion in Binance, isn't it? So it looks like rulers in Dubai are definitely taking positive stance regarding cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence. And so far as MGX is concerned, guys, they are taking an active part in the infrastructure program as well. So definitely brilliant news. Now the next news, guys, I'm going to be talking about has to do with Digital Dubai. And they have launched the skills program. And they want to empower Dubai government workforces. So really interesting announcement. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you've taken care of that, Let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. And as I've been saying since the last few days, guys, the FOMC announcement will definitely be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And Federal Chair Jerome Powell, guys, did actually decide to go ahead and keep the interest rate the same. And because of that, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumped up. And if you look at the total crypto market cap, today it is at $2.82 trillion. Now look, as over the weekend, if the volume of stablecoin increases, and if you do get any positive announcement in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I wouldn't be surprised if the global cryptocurrency market will actually cross the $3 trillion mark. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the weekend. Now because of the FOMC announcement, guys, since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is up by 3.73%. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, today it is at $104.2 billion. And because of the FOMC announcement, the global cryptocurrency market is up by 44.59%. Now, unfortunately, guys, the volume on decentralized finance is ridiculously low, and today it is down to $7.28 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for less than 7% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, 6.99% to be precise. And if you look at the total value locked, guys, since the last 3 months, it has been on a downtrend, and today it is down to $92.69 billion. Now, so far as total value locked is concerned, guys, Lido still dominating with $19.05 billion. And one matrix that I'm definitely keeping an eye on, that is Decentralized exchange dominance. And unfortunately, guys, today it is down to 28.21%. And I've been saying this over and over again, guys, in an idealistic world, this particular matrix should be around the 40 to 60% mark, barring the volume of centralized exchanges, because then we can confidently state that the world is ready for decentralization, isn't it? When will that thing happen? I really am not sure, to be completely honest. Now, guys, let's go ahead and run through the volume of decentralized exchanges. And this entire week, guys, PancakeSwap is leading the pack, and its 24-hour volume is $2.12 billion. And regarding PancakeSwap, guys, there's a really interesting update scheduled to take place. And one of the reasons why PancakeSwap has been pumping up is because of the heavy investment NGX had in Binance. And PancakeSwap works on Binance BNB chain, and because of that, the 24-hour volume has seen an uptick. Now, Uniswap today is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is $1.44 billion. Radium is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is ridiculously low, and it is down to $450.85 million. Orca is at number 4th, and its 24-hour volume is $449.45 million. At number 5th, guys, is an exchange called as Fluid, and its 24-hour volume is $373.27 million. Now let's quickly run through the volume of stable coins. Now the numbers aren't that great, to be completely honest. Ideally, guys, this number should have been around the $150 billion mark, because that would have given us a very good indication as to which direction the price would be heading over the weekend. But let's see, guys, if the numbers are changing on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Now, as of today, the 20th of March, the volume of stable coins is below the $100 billion mark. It is at $97.65 billion. And as of today, guys, stablecoins is accounting for 93.71% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And when you talk about stablecoins, Tether USDT is still leading the pack with $78.84 billion, followed by Circle USDC with $11.76 billion. And FDUSD's volume is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $6.01 billion. Now let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap, guys, has definitely seen an uptick, and today it is at $1.70 trillion. But look, guys, because at the FOMC meeting they decided to keep the interest rate the same, I do feel that the market cap will definitely see a pump up in the next few days. But look, guys, whatever I'm saying is definitely not financial advice, and make sure you go out and do your own research. And regarding Ethereum's market cap, guys, it does also slightly pumped up to $245 billion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is at $36.54 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $20.02 billion. Now, if you look at the dominance, guys, because the prices of Bitcoin has actually pumped up, I'm kind of content that the dominance is increasing as well, and today it is at 60.61%. Now, while the FOMC data was out, guys, the price of Bitcoin was around the $83,000 mark, and when I'm recording this episode, the price of Bitcoin is hovering around the $87,000 mark, $86,953 to be precise. So look, as the outcome of the FOMC meeting definitely has a very strong impact, isn't it? And because the price of Bitcoin is increasing, I'm kind of content that the dominance is increasing as well, because it means that a lot of people are actually buying a lot of Bitcoin, isn't it? Now, regarding Ethereum's dominance, it is marginally pumped up, but it is ridiculously low and it is only at 8.70%. Now, this entire week, guys, I'm pretty much sure a lot of dominance is actually consumed by Binance BNB chain, isn't it? And because of that, the dominance of Ethereum has been marginally going down. Now, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, I tend to look at one new matrix every day. And today, what I want to do is, I want to look at the top artificial intelligence and big data tokens by market capitalization. And I tend to read this number, I believe, every week nowadays. And the number one so far top AI and big data token is concerned is Neo Protocol, and its market cap is at $3.29 billion. ICP or Internet Computer Protocol is at number 2nd, and its market cap is at $2.84 billion. Bitense is at number 3rd, and its market cap is at $2.17 billion. Filecoin is at number 4th, and its market cap is at $1.96 billion. And Render Token is at number 5th, and its market cap is at $1.75 billion. Now look, so far as Bitense and Filecoin is concerned, they do fall under other categories as well. Because if you sort it, let's say, based on DePIN or decentralized physical infrastructure, they will be showing under them as well. Now the market cap will be the same, but the ranking will be completely different. Because a lot of these protocols, guys, they can be used for different projects, isn't it? Now, guys, let's go and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, guys, while the FOMC meeting announcement was done, the price of Bitcoin was hovering around the $83,000 mark, and right now when I'm recording this episode, the price of Bitcoin is around the $87,000 mark, $86,953 to be precise. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, guys, the numbers are definitely looking green. But if you look at the fear and greed index, looks like the market is still at fear, and there is a lot of speculation regarding tariffs, isn't it? And on the 2nd of this month, guys, the tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump will officially kick in, and because of that, looks like the market sentiment is still at fear. Now, regarding Bitcoin, guys, since the last 24 hours, it is up by 3.77%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 2.55%. Ethereum, guys, has crossed the $2,000 mark, and the price of Ethereum is at $2,029, and since the last 24 hours, it is up by 4.91%, and since the last 7 days, it is up by 7.04%. Ripple or XRP has definitely pumped up the most. Since the last 24 hours, it is up by 8.90%. And since the last 7 days, guys, Ripple or XRP is up by 10.87%. And the price of Ripple or XRP is at $2.48. Now, one of the reasons why the prices are pumped up, guys, is only because of the FOMC announcement, isn't it? And there were essentially 3 outcomes to this, guys. Federal Chair Jerome Powell could have reduced the interest rate, and if he would have done that, I'm pretty much sure the prices of Bitcoin would have crossed the $100,000 mark. Now, there is a very high possibility he might actually do that later on in the year. Now, the unlikely option that Democrats would have wanted is that Federal Chair Jerome Powell to go ahead and increase the interest rate. And had he done that, guys, things would have been absolutely catastrophic, not just for cryptocurrency world, but even for the stock market world. And mainstream media would have definitely loved that, because then they could have gone ahead and attacked President Donald Trump, isn't it? But at the FOMC meeting, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell and his team decided to keep the interest rate the same, which to be honest was expected by the market, and because of that, guys, things are looking good so far as the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is concerned. Now look, guys, regarding the FOMC meeting, I really cannot stress this enough. Rather than watching mainstream media who put out a completely fake news narrative or misleading information, go ahead and listen to Federal Chair Jerome Powell's speech, and the link to that is in the show notes below. Because whenever there's such announcement, guys, he does go ahead and give his reasoning as to why the committee has gone ahead and made the decision. And in this case, guys, he clearly stated that the unemployment rate under President Donald Trump has stabilized and they are reaching a low level in recent months. And regarding the labor market conditions, guys, he clearly said that the labor market conditions are extremely solid. And I'm watching unnecessary posts via LinkedIn, guys, where they're talking about the US is heading towards recession. That, to be honest, guys, is completely misleading and fake news information. Now, regarding inflation, guys, he did clearly state that inflation remains somewhat elevated, but the CPI numbers or bad inflation number for the very first time in the month of February, guys, has actually gone down under the Trump administration, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens in the next coming months. And what Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that the FOMC committee will assess incoming data on risks while at the same time continuing to reduce its security holdings. Now, regarding security holdings, guys, it is really important to understand what kind of an impact will have on the cryptocurrency market, because whenever Federal Chair Jerome Powell and his team goes ahead and reduces the security holding, guys, it does mean there's a lot of liquidity in the market, and depending on what narrative mainstream media goes, guys, it will definitely be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And Federal Chair Jerome Powell, guys, did actually state that in April, they will be reducing the Treasury security reductions from $25 billion to $5 billion per month, while at the same time maintaining agencies' debt and mortgage-backed securities, which will be capped at $35 billion. Now, it's really important to understand, guys, that the FOMC committee remains committed to maximum employment, and their goal is to keep the inflation below 2%. Now, look, guys, regarding this decision to keep the interest rate the same, I personally think the decision signals a more cautious approach to tightening financial conditions. But nonetheless, guys, it is definitely great for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? But what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on information regarding Treasury securities, because slowing the reduction of Treasury securities, guys, does actually mean that the Federal Reserve is allowing for more liquidity to remain in the market, which, to be honest, guys, could actually help stabilize interest rates, and that could in turn support economic growth. However, guys, they're also maintaining a cap on the agency's debt and mortgage-backed securities, and this does actually suggest that the Federal Reserve Board is still concerned about inflation. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens with the implementation of tariffs. Now, as I mentioned earlier, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell does actually go live via YouTube, isn't it? And after making the announcement, guys, there is always a question and answer session, and there were quite a lot of questions regarding tariffs. Now, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually state that based on the survey that is done by households as well as businesses, there is possibility of an increase in inflation, but at this point of time, guys, I really am not sure how many people did actually respond to the survey. Now, look, as if mainstream media goes ahead and cherry picks only this piece of information, you would see quite a lot of Instagram stories, a lot of stories only talking about this particular part of the information, and if that thing happens, guys, mainstream media will unnecessarily create panic, isn't it? But look, guys, that is not the case. Now, regarding tariffs and inflation, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell clearly stated that it is extremely difficult to calculate how tariffs will be impacting inflation. So whenever you're hearing left-leaning mainstream media such as CNN, BBC, or even associated propaganda, guys, make sure you understand that the information need not necessarily be true. And I'm seeing so many people via Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, they are claiming that if the tariff increases, the prices will be shifted to consumers. This, to be honest, is 100% inaccurate, guys. The whole goal of President Donald Trump's tariff is that he wants to go ahead and implement reciprocal tariff. One of the reasons why he's increasing tariffs, guys, is because a lot of the other countries, particularly India, guys, they have 150% tariffs, and President Donald Trump, by implementing reciprocal tariff, guys, he wants other countries to go ahead and reduce the tariffs, and that is his whole intention. Now look, guys, another genius move by President Donald Trump is he's already got quite a lot of investments into the country of the United States, and that, to be honest, does give him quite a lot of leverage, isn't it? Now, in just a matter of less than 60 days, guys, President Donald Trump has almost got $1.6 trillion worth of investment. Under Joe Biden's administration, guys, the investments that the United States of America received was almost $1 trillion. This is a stark difference on what President Donald Trump is doing, isn't it? And later on, guys, I'll go ahead and discuss a massive AI infrastructure partnership that does involve tech giants such as BlackRock, Microsoft, MGX, Nvidia, XAI, GE Vernova, as well as NextEra Energy, and they will be investing another $180 billion in this AI infrastructure partnership. So when you talk about tariffs, guys, you also need to factor into all of these things into consideration. And according to me, guys, there is a lot of misleading information regarding tariffs and inflation. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, avoid listening at mainstream media. And tariffs will not necessarily be impacting the price of goods and services, but it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, if the inflation does actually pick up. But it's really important to note, guys, this will be driven because of misleading information by mainstream media, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. Rather than watching mainstream media, go ahead and listen to podcasts, or more importantly, guys, go ahead and do your own research, and in the show notes below, guys, you will find official information, and these are the only official information that you should be looking at. Now regarding FOMC meeting, because the interest rate is the same, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have definitely pumped up, but it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the weekend. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, keep a track of three things. The first one is the volume of stable coins, the second one is the 24-hour volume, and the third one is the impact on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But nonetheless, guys, in the episode that will release on next Monday, I'll definitely go and touch base on these numbers. Now, guys, let's go and touch base on a really interesting news regarding Bitcoin blockchain and Xapo Bank. They are unleashing Bitcoin-backed loans, and you can borrow up to $1 million without selling Bitcoin. And this particular loan, guys, is available via the app called Xapo Bank, and the offering, guys, provides flexible repayment terms, and their aim is to support long-term Bitcoin investors with responsible lending solutions. But look, guys, historically there have been so many such projects. Celsius was one of them, as well as BlockFi as well, and both of them went completely belly up, and users lost all of their Bitcoin as well. So you definitely need to pay a lot of caution to this. Now regarding this news, guys, what the information actually states that users can determine their borrowing limit using an internal app calculator, and they're claiming to have full transparency on repayment amounts and interest rate. Now look, guys, I'm really curious to check, when you go and take out these Bitcoin, is Xapo Bank in full custody of your Bitcoin? And if that thing is the case, I would definitely not be going ahead with this. But the CEO of Xapo Bank, that is Seamus Roca, has actually addressed this concern, and he's emphasizing the bank's commitment to transparency and flexibility. But me personally, guys, I would definitely not be trusting with this, but definitely interesting idea nonetheless. Now, guys, let's go and discuss a really massive news, and this, to be honest, guys, might be the biggest news in 2025, and this is to do with EOS. Now, just a refresher, guys, EOS was supposed to be one of the biggest projects in the blockchain and cryptocurrency world, and they did raise $4 billion, and what they did with that $4 billion, guys, they ended up buying Bitcoin, and the whole narrative regarding EOS was they will be the Ethereum killer, but the project turned out to be a complete failure. They launched several projects. One of the projects was Voice.com, which was a complete failure. And regarding Voice.com, guys, if you're a fan of Michael Saylor, you should know that Michael Saylor did actually sell that domain name to EOS, and he sold them for $30 million. And Michael Saylor did get introduced to Bitcoin because of EOS, but according to this news, guys, they have decided to rebrand it to Vaulta, and their tagline is opening the gateway to Web3 Banking. And the official link to this, guys, is published by EOS Network Foundation, and the link to that is in the show notes below. Now, I don't want to get into detail, guys, but they're talking about 4 pillars of Vaulta's Web3 banking ecosystem. The first one is wealth management, the second one is consumer payment, the third one is portfolio investment, and the fourth one is insurance. Now, what is a bit ironic, guys, is they are advertising the council members that they have. This, according to me, guys, is a massive no, cause look, when you talk about Bitcoin, guys, let's go back to the basics. It is peer-to-peer electronic cash system, isn't it? And there is no council as such, but looks like with this rebranded version of EOS, guys, they are focusing heavily on the council. And in the official document below, guys, they also discuss a financial network for Web3 banking. Now, I won't get into details into this, guys, but they are actually touching base on 5 things. The first one is that it is enterprise ready, and they are focusing on ready smart contracts. The second one is direct Bitcoin integration, and they're doing that via exSat. The third one is decentralized on-chain, and they also have a RAM database. The next one is cross-chain interoperability, guys, and they are focusing on chain liquidity and seamless interoperability. And the final point, guys, they are focusing on 1-second transaction finality. Now, what I've done is, guys, I have released a standalone episode regarding the rebranding version, but this particular episode is entirely done by artificial intelligence. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go ahead and listen to the entire episode. And the entire episode talks about EOS rebranding to Vaulta, and it also talks about the council members and finer technical details regarding this particular project. But let me know, guys, what do you think of this? But look, guys, EOS definitely made quite a lot of news when they had launched, and a lot of EOS fanboys, guys, they were actually calling Dan Larimer, who used to be the CTO of EOS, the Tim Cook of cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols. Some of them also used to state that he is more smarter than Satoshi Nakamoto, but looks like it was a complete scam. But Fluffy Ponycars, who used to be the lead monteur of Monero Privacy Coin, he initially called this an outright scam, and looks like he was 100% right. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens to this project called as Vaulta. Now guys, let's go and discuss a really interesting news, and this, to be honest, definitely needs a lot of attention. And Microsoft, guys, they are warning of malware targeting Coinbase, MetaMask wallets, and quite a lot of other. And in the show notes below, guys, there is an official link, and the blog actually talks about a malware, guys, that is targeting over 20 crypto wallet extensions. And what this malware does is, guys, it steals credentials, monitors clipboard activity, gathers system data, and then it executes remote commands. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in order to stay safe, download relevant softwares only from official sources, and make sure you go and use hardware wallets, enable two-factor authentication, and more importantly, guys, try to avoid phishing links as well, because based on the news, this particular malware was identified in November of 2024, and they do use advanced techniques to evade detection and maintain persistence on infected systems. And the malware, guys, as I mentioned earlier, they do extract and decrypt credentials saved in Chrome, allowing attackers to access stored usernames and passwords. Now, with the number of different exploits and hacks, guys, it is so important that we are extra vigilant, isn't it? So definitely make sure you go ahead and take the necessary precautions regarding this. Now guys, let me go ahead and touch base on some news regarding Democrats. And clearly, guys, because of the November elections, a lot of the left-leaning administrations, they're suffering heavily with TDX, and their hatred for cryptocurrency policies are definitely showing. And what is happening is, Senator Elizabeth Warren, also called as Pocahontas, along with Richard Blumenthal, Jeffrey Merkley, Chris Van Hollen, and Representative Jamie Raskin, they have written a letter and they are accusing President Donald Trump of profiting through his meme coin as well as World Liberty Finance token. Now here's the hypocrisy, guys. If you look at Elizabeth Warren's net worth, surprisingly, guys, she's a multimillionaire. So I very strongly feel that these Democrats should be the one who should be investigated. And along with Trump derangement syndrome, guys, looks like the Democrats have Elon derangement syndrome as well. And in that letter, guys, they're also warning Elon Musk, that is the Department of Government Efficiency, and they want to weaken DOGE, that is Department of Government Efficiency's oversight, and they are demanding Trump to divest and Elon Musk to disclose finances. Now look, guys, this is hypocrisy at its highest scale. Now regarding Department of Government Efficiency, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is go to doge.gov, and all the information is absolutely crystal clear. And Elon Musk has said several times, guys, what is it that you disagree to? All of the information is actually published on the website. Now the only reason why the Democrats are against Department of Government Efficiency, guys, is because all of the notorious spendings, all of the fraudulent expenses will be exposed in it. And I'm pretty much sure, guys, over the next days and weeks we will find out some heavy investigations regarding Democrats, particularly Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi, and quite a lot of other. Now regarding Nancy Pelosi, guys, she's been actively involved in insider trading, so it's going to be really interesting to see if there is any criminal investigation done regarding them. But only time will tell if Cash Patel and Pam Bondi goes against them. But look, it is definitely not right to go after political affiliations. Rather, just go by the law, which I'm pretty much sure Pam Bondi and Cash Patel will be doing. So these were some macro level news, guys, on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency vault. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is definitely a massive news. And this particular article, guys, is published by Media Office in Abu Dhabi. And BlackRock, Microsoft, MGX, they are having a global infrastructure partnership. And they are expanding their infrastructure partnership, guys, with firms such as Nvidia, XAI, GE Vernova, as well as NextEra Energy. And the AI infrastructure partnership, guys, is focused on investing in AI-ready data centers and critical energy infrastructure to support AI-driven growth. And so far as Nvidia is concerned, they will continue to be a technical advisor, and they will be guiding the deployment of AI data center infrastructure. And regarding GE Vernova and NextEra Energy, guys, they will collaborate with the AI infrastructure partnership to expand energy solution for AI data centers. And the AI infrastructure partnership, guys, aims to mobilize up to $100 billion in total investment with an initial goal of unlocking $30 billion in capital. And this particular partnership, guys, focuses on scaling next generation AI infrastructure while at the same time ensuring a diverse and open architecture ecosystem. And investments, guys, will primarily target the United States of America, OECD nations, and US partner countries fostering global AI adoption. And even Nova guys, they will continue to supply chain planning and deliver high-efficiency energy solutions and next-era energy. They will aim to integrate renewables, battery storage, gas, and nuclear energy for air power needs. And His Excellency Sheikh Tanoon bin Nayad Al Nayan guys, who's the MGX chairman, has emphasized AI's role in shaping the future economy. And the CEO of Nvidia, that is Jensen Huang, stated that AI factories will drive economic growth and global problem solving. And Satya Nadella of Microsoft guys highlighted AI infrastructure as a key enabler for industry-wide transformation. And Larry Fink, who I believe is probably the most powerful person on this planet, who's the CEO of BlackRock, stressed AI's economic potential and the need for strategic private capital investment. And next year, our CEO, that is John Ketchum guys, emphasized the need for robust energy infrastructure to support AI rapid expansion. And Scott Snazek, who's the CEO of GeoVernova guys, reaffirmed a multi-energy approach, integrating gas, nuclear, wind, and renewables. Now look guys, so far as the AI infrastructure partnership is concerned, this recent news about expansion plan marks a major step towards AI-powered economic growth, energy transformation, and digital infrastructure development. Definitely brilliant news, isn't it? Now look guys, because of President Donald Trump, there's great relationship between United Arab Emirates and United States of America, and news such as this guys should be covered by mainstream media, isn't it? And if mainstream media guys does actually start reporting facts rather than being activist, I do believe that the world would be in a much safer place, isn't it? Let me know what are your thoughts regarding this. Now let me go and touch base on another interesting news from Dubai, and this is to do with Digital Dubai. And Digital Dubai guys, they have launched the skills program to empower Dubai government workforce. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because they are partnered with Microsoft and they are launching an AI skill program for government employees. And this initiative guys aligns with Dubai's AI strategy and Dubai Economic Agenda D33, as they're aiming to build a digital knowledge economy. And this particular program guys focuses on AI training to foster practical AI culture across government sectors. And this particular training guys consists of 3 specialized training tracks which are designed for different levels of expertise. The IT developer track is tailored for software developers, data scientists, HR professionals, project managers, and IT specialists. And they also have something called as AI for All track that does provide a broader introduction to AI's history, techniques, trends, and real-world application. And they also have executive track guys that offers AI-focused education for organizational leadership and decision makers. Now regarding this training guys, this training is available via Learning Management System for Accessibility, and His Excellency Ahmad Obaid Al Mansouri, who's the Director General of Digital Dubai, has emphasized that AI is a foundation for Dubai's digital transformation. Now regarding this initiative guys, it seeks to enhance AI's expertise in government sectors and boost Dubai's digital competitiveness, isn't it? And Microsoft's General Manager guys has stated that this collaboration will equip government professionals with AI skills, and this particular program will last for 1 year. And the aim is to train as many government employees as possible in AI technologies. Now look, as it is so great that the UAE government is taking leaps and bounds in training the employees, and this particular program aligns with Dubai's strategy of standardizing ICT skills in government sectors. And Digital Dubai guys aims to improve accessibility and quality of digital skill programs across the Emirate. And this initiative also expands the digital talent pool in Dubai, ensuring a strong AI-driven workforce. And Microsoft guys will provide specialized training and resources to support the program's implementation. And this collaboration with Microsoft does strengthen Dubai's position as a global AI and digital innovation hub. So definitely positive news. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Sean who asks, would you personally trust a Bitcoin-backed loan for liquidity needs? The answer to that, Sean, is an upfront no. Because look, when you talk about Bitcoin, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, isn't it? And this is the notion I very strongly feel everyone should have. With that thing being said, Sean, I do think there are a couple of use cases as well. Now, the only reason why I'm skeptical regarding this is because there was a massive collapse regarding Celsius and BlockFi, isn't it? And while Alex Mashinsky used to talk about Celsius, even that time I was definitely not a fan of it. And the same thing regarding BlockFi as well. If I'm not mistaken, Peter McCormack, he's a massive Bitcoin maximalist, but he was advertising something that he was not in keen with. And unfortunately, both of the projects did go completely belly up. So to answer your question, no, I would definitely not trust a Bitcoin-backed loan. But look, there are brilliant use cases for this as well. And one thing I can think of is, Sean, Bitcoin-backed loans can actually be a powerful tool for liquidity, and it will actually allow long-term holders to access the funds. And more importantly, they can do that without selling the Bitcoin. But with the prices of Bitcoin around $100,000 mark, I'm pretty much sure people already are millionaires, isn't it? So for them to go and take $1 million loan definitely does not make a lot of sense. However, Sean, it's really important to understand when you talk about Bitcoin-backed loans, trust is probably the most important thing, isn't it? And trust does depend on lenders' transparency, risk management, as well as collateralization practices. Now, we do know the collapse of BlockFi and Celsius did actually expose flaws in hypothecation, poor risk controls, and unsustainable yields. And I very strongly feel in order for a Bitcoin-backed loan by Zapper Bank, they should offer full transparency, non-rehypothecated collateral, they need to be regulatory compliant, and they need to have really strong stringent security as well. More importantly, I very strongly feel, Sean, user control is probably the most important thing, and ideally it should be a setup where borrowers maintain some oversight over collateral. So look, Sean, so far Zapper Bank's offering is concerned, they claim to focus on responsible lending, but due diligence is extremely crucial, isn't it? So the big question according to me, are these loans structured in a way that protects users even in a market downturn? And once we get more information regarding this, then I do feel users need to do their own diligence and then go ahead and make their own investment advice. And whatever I'm saying, Sean, is definitely not investment advice. But to answer your question, would I trust a Bitcoin-backed loan for liquidity needs? The answer to that is an upfront no, but definitely a great question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. via Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And this is in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and even artificial intelligence lately. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.